M. Hey guys, I hope you'll love this story. With magical things happens in one of our dearness. Willowbrook was a town that had passed where time passed at its own slow beat. Streets were lined with ancient trees whose leaves whispered ancient secrets, and neighbors greeted each other as kin. It was the type of place in which children knew every nook and cranny, where festivals were commemorated with warmth that illuminated the chilliest winters, and where all people's stories were incorporated into the town's historical fabric. The aroma of jasmine and damp soil filled the air following each rain, and the aged stone benches in the market square had seen generations of hushed secrets and common dreams. Even the cobblestones seemed to softly hum beneath the tread of vagabonds, as if they contained memories too ancient to voice. In this quiet town, there lived the Mathurin family, a family with a humble exterior that hid great stories and a sense of solidarity that seemed almost mythical. They lived in a cozy bungalow whose ivy-covered walls smiled like children's faces and wind chimes that hummed with each breeze. The bungalow was the hub of many neighborhood parties. There, laughter rang out, and yarns were spun like vibrant threads in a woven fabric. The garden was sprinkled with marigolds and hibiscus, and each summer night, fireflies glowed in the dusk like small stars visiting. The scent of cardamom chai on the stove and fresh earth filled the air, inviting anyone who entered. Central to these stories was Grandpa Raj Mathuran, a man whose quirky appeal brought him the legend of our family. He wore unmatched socks as symbols of pride, told tales that would have you laughing until your belly ached, and gripped an ancient smartphone that glowed gently in the darkness. This phone, Grandpa was adamant, was not an ordinary phone. It was magical, a channel bridging our family across the limits of time itself. I am Mira Mathuran, youngest of 3 siblings, and the day I discovered Grandpa's magic phone secret is one that I shall never forget. It was a rainy Saturday afternoon, the sort that makes you want to wrap up inside with a book or a warm drink. The soothing patter of raindrops on the windows merged with the smell of wet soil and steaming cardamom chai in the kitchen. Grandpa invited me into his warm living room, where there was the reassuring murmur of an old radio playing mellow classical music and the soft groan of wooden floorboards. "Mira, come on. I've got something to show you that will turn your life around," he said, brandishing the radiating telephone in the air like a cherished relic. I raised an eyebrow, expecting another of his jokes. Grandpa was in the habit of making ordinary things magical relics through his anecdotes. But when he clicked on the WhatsApp icon, the screen softened as if sprinkled with fairy dust. A message popped up, from my late grandmother, Anjali. "Raj, don't forget the mangoes from the market," the message read. I stood there, breath caught in my throat. "Grandma's texting you?" I said, with my eyes wide and confused. Grandpa grinned and winked. "Not texting, Mira. This phone connects us beyond time." I was entranced by the magical phone for the rest of the days. It was as if I had a hidden gateway to the past and future. I asked for Grandma Anjali's famous mango pickle recipe, and she replied with alacrity, "Start with love, a pinch of patience, and a ton of mangoes." Sometimes there were messages from Grandpa's ancestors as well. Great-grandparents, uncles, and aunts passed away, regaling with pearls of wisdom, jokes, and stories of family misadventures decades past. It was as if the whole family tree had come out for a reunion, their voices spanning generations. Every message was a glimpse into a life lived with passion, humor, and grit. One evening, curiosity got the better of me, and I asked Grandma what her teenage life was like. Her responses were filled with humor and affection. She told about sneaking out to see movies at night, how she had finally made a perfect cake. After all the funny, failed attempts, and even about a silly argument she'd once had with Grandpa over a missing sock. The very same kind he still wore mismatched to today. I laughed so hard my sides hurt. The magic wasn't in the phone itself. It was in the memory and love it held. Then, however, things began to happen that were peculiar magic. Early in the morning, my big brother Arjun, with a mischievous smile on his face, grabbed the phone. With a sly grin, he composed a cheeky message to Grandma. Instead of the expected warm reply, the phone beeped a foreboding message. "Return the magical mango?" Or bear the wrath of the mango spirit. We erupted in laughter, sure Grandpa had played the trick on us. But later that night, things were different around the house. Mangoes went missing in an unknown manner from the kitchen table. Doors would automatically open. And the old grandfather clock, which sounded 12 times at midnight, sounded 13. Playful mischief had the house alive. Shadows danced out of visibility, and the atmosphere contained hidden power. Grandpa told the story of the mango spirit, a guardian of family tradition and love, angered that the magic of being together was beginning to fade in the light of new distractions. Is the mango spirit basically a cranky ghost? Who loves mangoes? Arjun joked. Exactly, Grandpa laughed, and it's our duty to put this right. We set out on a side-splitting quest that weekend to find the enchanted mango and placate the mango spirit. Grandpa took out his old yellowed diaries brimmed with scribbles and clues. We decoded cryptic clues concealed in old family photos turned sepia, heard stories told and retold, and solved long-forgotten mysteries lost to history. Sibling squabbles broke out like firecrackers but were always succeeded by chuckles. Arjun attempted to frighten little Anya with an impersonation of the mango spirit and was chased around the house wielding a flashlight? Grandpa told us outlandish ghost stories that had us rolling our eyes and laughing till we cried. The enchanted mango was not just any fruit. It was symbolic, a reminder of the pure pleasures and customs that bound us. We made Grandma's dishes, danced to the old songs, and talked long past midnight, sensing the magic in our unity. A special evening, huddled around the kitchen table, snacking on spicy mango pickle, and enjoying warm guffaws, Grandpa explained, the mango spirit teaches us that family and love are the real magic. Technology can connect us, but it's our hearts that truly keep us together. That evening, resting in bed, I had a tremendous feeling of appreciation. The magical telephone had made history come alive, but it was now, a love that we had, that made our lives filled with real magic. Days went by, and the magic phone went on buzzing gently in Grandpa's pocket. I would find myself sneaking a glance at it during moments of silence, looking for some insight into the lives of my ancestors. Every message was a stitch in the family's majestic tapestry, a bond that was both humbling and thrilling. Afternoon sun dappled through the lace curtains and cast golden patterns on the floor as Grandpa told me about the mango orchard that had existed on the town's edges when he was young. Your great-grandfather planted those trees, Grandpa said, his voice filled with nostalgia. He said as long as those mango trees were standing, our family would never lose spirit. Moved, we decided to go to the orchard, so long abandoned yet still erect. We strolled under the venerable branches, and the rustling leaves seemed to weigh heavy with history. Grandpa nodded toward a single ripe mango that was hanging by itself precariously. That's the last magic mango, he breathed. I stretched up, picked it carefully, and held it as if it were a gem. At that moment, the wind seemed to transport laughter from generations, enveloping us in a gentle hug. We went back home and prepared a fresh batch of mango pickle based on the recipe Grandma had given us. As the fragrance wafted through the house, it was as if time had folded in upon us. The past and present became one in a ballet of memory and love. The following weeks saw the strange occurrences subside. The mangoes no longer vanished, the doors no longer creaked ominously, and the clock rang at midnight with precision. But the enchantment remained. In the tales we told, the grins we shared, and the unseen connection which bound our hearts. To those who read stories like ours, remember this. Magic isn't just spells or gadgets. It lives in the smiles we share, the memories we cherish, and the love that transcends time. Sometimes the greatest magic is simply putting down your phone, calling your loved ones, and making your own moments unforgettable. And so, with the sun dipping below the horizon of Willowbrook and the whispering wind bringing the heady aroma of jasmine and damp earth, the Mathurin family's tale goes on, sewn forever into the ageless fabric of this magical town where love, laughter, and a little magic always somehow manage to thrive. Thank you, dear reader. Thank you for taking the time to journey through the curious case of Grandpa's magic smartphone. Your presence here means more than you know. Stories like this come alive not just through words, but through the hearts that receive them. If this tale brought a smile, a memory, or a little spark of magic into your day, then it has served its purpose. Keep the magic alive in your stories, your families, and your quiet moments of wonder. With gratitude, Mira and Grandpa Raj.